Hello, welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming. You are the salt of the earth. You are the people that make this world go round. And I am very happy to come before you every day with the truth. I'm sorry you're being censored. There are a lot of good people in the FBI, and there's a lot of rat things like Kash Patel, who's been working very hard to make sure Trump disappears off the face of the map. But there are some really good people at the core of the FBI and the CIA, and I ridicule them constantly because they censor me. And they know exactly what they're doing, and they want this world conflict to start. But anyway, I apologize for my censorship. It's a world gone insane. First of all, I'm going to talk to you. It literally is a world that has gone insane. First, I'm going to talk to you about Get the Tea. When I order things, when I get them in the mail, such as sea vegetables, we use our name, Mount, M-O-U-N-T, and we save 10% off of everything. So we wait for like cinnamon to be on sale, and we buy lots of cinnamon because cinnamon helps control my blood sugar level because I've done my blood tests using their cinnamon. And it's twice as effective. Actually, if you consider ounce for ounce, it's 4 times as effective as the regular cinnamon that I've used from other companies. So I use half as much, and it lowered my blood sugar by 100 points versus using the competition, which lowered it by 50 points. So you need good cinnamon. At least that's what I think. But anyway, when I order, I use the promo code MOUNT. It's on sale, plus you save the extra 10%. So this company is a key company. And as the nuclear treaties run out, I highly suggest, since we're building massive nuclear plants, that you consider using at least 1 or 2 sea vegetables a day from Get the Tea. That nuclear radiation has to go somewhere. We're not building breeder reactors, or we're not building fission reactors. I think we're building fusion. I don't know. But the nuclear waste is everywhere. So I highly suggest, just a personal suggestion from my standpoint and from the standpoint of the U.S. Army, that you specifically buy the sea vegetables and you use Mount to save 10%. It's my recommendation. You can take it or leave it. Jane had the big C and it's gone. Now, I'm not saying there's a connection, but maybe there is. Anyway, gold. Oh, if you go to the stupid market, make sure you check your receipts. We've got a lot of things coming up. They say it's on sale for $17.95. They charge you $25 or $20. And the taxes here in the libtard state aren't 11% anymore on many items at 20 to 25%. And it is illegal for a government agency to advertise for a bond. They won $750 million for 30,000 students with a 50% graduation rate. And they're violating federal law and advertising for more money, more money, more money. The 3 precepts of the devil are public education, destroy the family, and kill the Christians. How do I know? I have an unfair advantage. I see what God shows me what's coming. I know what the news is before I go to the news. That's why I don't go to church, because the pastors all believe that God died when Yeshua went to heaven, when I'm here to tell you he's alive and well today. I also get the letters from the devil. And I listen to their broadcasts. God shows me exactly what the devil means and exactly what's coming. He's never been wrong. I can't find my glasses, but I don't need them anymore thanks to vision support from Get the Tea and the eye exercises I do. But my eyesight went from 2150 to 2100. I started using the vision support, and suddenly within 3 months it was down to 2025 from 2100. Pretty cool, eh? And on the metal market, the LBMA lowered the price of gold and silver. The banks took a $20 trillion loss. The backstop loss is not over with yet. That they lost $4 trillion initially, and they're going to lose another $16 trillion. There was a failure to deliver. You say, no, there wasn't a failure to deliver. Nobody's talking about the failure to deliver. Why did they have to lower the price of silver and copper, which was $6 a pound and now is down to $4.50 a pound? Why? Because they had to backstop the loss, because when gold hits 5,500, the world U.S. dollar is no longer the world reserve currency. But now the banks are buying up more gold and more silver, and so that threshold is coming down as the price of gold and silver goes up. But Trump may be able to backstop that, because now that he knows what the game is, he may be able to change that. So, for example, he goes to India. The petrodollar is dead. It's now international trade of real products. That's what the money is. So Trump contacted Modi of India, a member of the Theosophical Society, I believe, which is Lucifer's outreach, and they reached a deal. India is going to buy nothing but U.S. oil. It'll take them a little while. We have the finest crude in the world, and we have more crude oil in the U.S. than anywhere in the world. My neighbor, our assistant scoutmaster, was an assistant geologist for California, and he used to discover oil wells. And he told me where the oil was and how much we're sitting on the biggest pot of oil in the world. Not Venezuela, not Canada, not Russia. We've just been destroyed by the libtards. Why we're mining oil when we have water-powered cars is because these people who work for the Lucifer Trust are here to destroy. And Lucifer said in his latest broadcast, this is the planet where they will create evil. So we're on the evil planet. Anyway, I better speed this up to get the news out. That trade deal with India is unprecedented. And Trump has agreed to lower the tariffs and eliminate them for India if they buy all U.S. oil. So the tariffs are a great negotiating tool unless they start using slave labor. Then Trump will cut them off. Just like he's cutting China off. You want to kill 1 million Uyghur Muslims in slave labor camps? We don't buy your stuff. 500% tariff on those products. No more slavery. That's why we don't buy products from Morocco. Too much slavery. Anyway, Powell has agreed not to lower interest rates. He's going to screw Trump because he is a member of the Lucifer Trust. Or actually, the Theosophical Society, I believe. He is a member. He gave his life to Lucifer. I know, I was offered a position. All I have to do is go to once a month satanic sacrifices and do exactly what I'm told. I can have billions. I could become a bank president. Lucifer. And it doesn't matter if he lowers interest rates or not. The U.S. may default, and so interest rates are rising because people aren't investing in U.S. bonds. But there's no safe place to invest because all the European demons, the head of England, the head of Germany, which is causing massive riots in the country right now, the work has come to a standstill in Germany and France. Their economies have plummeted to nothing. It's called replacement theory. And they're all talking about replacing the whites with black Muslims. Because, like the head of the Jesuits said, Hans Kovelenbach, we must make America and Europe brown because they can't compete and they can't fight Satan. That's what Hans Kovelenbach said. You all saw the interview. Been talking about it for 18 years now. And the welfare, the $2 trillion a year leaving this country for the Democrats and the terrorists, same thing, is still occurring with no arrests. Tampon Tim is a poor excuse for a feminized Hillary Clinton. Anyway, Tampon Tim, the governor of Minnesota, is a poor excuse for a feminized Hillary Clinton. Anyway, Epstein files are being exposed one after another. The AI is now writing millions of pages, so you can't go through it. The FBI is totally, and the Department of Justice, which, according to Dun & Bradstreet, is in competition with the United States Corporation. Total competition with the U.S. Department of Justice. I offered Trump 300 members of the military to go in and smash heads and turn the U.S. Department of Justice around, and Trump ignored me. Remember, Trump, Marine One went down. You had to turn Air Force One around. The third time's a charm. 23 April, baby. I don't know what the FBI's cooking up, but it ain't looking good. I know it's coming, but I ain't talking. You're going to have to figure it out. They'll probably stop it. And then try to get him another day. Anyway, the nuclear treaties between Russia and the United States run out. They totally run out in 36 hours. So what does that mean? What exactly does that mean? Well, Russia's declared a holy war in the Ukraine because there's so many witches and so much witchcraft and so many burning of the bodies and sacrifice and drinking of blood in the battle lines that Russia has declared a holy war against the Satanists in the Ukraine, which the United States formally supports. We support the Nazis, the Azov Battalion. Azov is a city in the Ukraine. It's called the Azov Battalion, the Nazis. They do not like blacks. I lived there. They hate blacks. I tried to get a black woman to get new power lines built in the Ukraine, and they wouldn't even, because they had lots of UN money at the time, they wouldn't even see her because she was black. Well, that was stupid on the Ukrainian part. Oh, by the way, the UN is crying foul. We don't have any money. We don't have any money. We're broke. Well, good. I hope you stay broke. President Trump, we pray that you stop paying the power bills at the United Nations. We are sick of the UN Satanism. Their number one NGO, the UN, the Lucifer Trust. Get a frickin' clue. Anyway, so President Trump has said we're going to increase the military budget from $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. Why? Well, I want you to consider this. Not only do we have a super duper top secret space program with starships, according to the assistant director of Lockheed Martin at a Lucifer Trust seminar that I watched. It's on the internet, if they still have it up. I looked, I think they pulled the video down. Just like when the head of Johns Hopkins Medical University, a private corporation within Johns Hopkins College, they said, we don't want to cure people, we want to watch them die so we can learn to fight our way back into heaven. She's a walking, talking demon. Anyway, what's the extra $500 billion for? Our nuclear submarines carry 24 nuclear tubes with between 9 to 12 nuclear weapons per tube. You do the math, 24 times 12. That's a lot of firepower. We have about twice as many submarines that are not in Wikipedia. Each carrier carries 2,000 nukes. This isn't top secret. It's all over the internet. So don't worry. Besides, I grant you top secret security clearance for the next 10 minutes. I have that power and that authority. So, we have a lot of nuclear weapons. A lot of firecrackers. And so, not having a nuclear treaty, Trump is going to rebuild everything and bring it up to standards. Because the radiation leaks. And then at 85 megahertz, lead grows and then shorts out everything. So they have to replace the components in a nuclear weapon, and they have to replace the nuclear warhead. And they have to do that periodically. And both Obama and Biden let it slide. They spent the money on the Democratic Party and on terrorism worldwide. And Trump says no more. We're going to rebuild our nuclear forces. That's what the extra $500 billion is for. You'll never see it taken out of the... But where do they get the money? Right out of thin air. As prices go through the roof. Because as that money filters down into the economy, prices go through the roof. And you lose your buying power as this potential confrontation gets closer. And Lucifer tries to throw us into a 20 megaton firecracker exchange. One firecracker will take out 30 million people in New York State. Seattle, it'll probably take out everything from Canadian border almost all the way down to the Oregon border. And that's one firecracker. It would take 2 firecrackers to wipe out 90% of the population in California. We don't want this. This is bad. We don't want a holy war. We don't want to support witches burning bodies and cutting them up and doing whatever they do in their rituals in the Ukraine. We don't want to support that anymore. We, the American people, do not want to support the conflict in the Ukraine. Ukraine has always and will always belong to Russia. No matter what the politicians say. Quite frankly, stay out of Iran. Put a wall around it, but stay out of Iran. We don't want a conflict in Iran. They're gassing their people with nerve gas. What do you think they do to U.S. troops? They're gassing their own people. They've killed 30 to 40,000 of them with nerve gas. And a final note, if you find unexploded ordnances in France or Germany, do not play with them. Call the local authorities, and I've done this many times. They go out and they put a block of explosives next to it, and they have fuses, and they pull the fuses, and then they go way back there, and they go zap, zap, boom, the explosive ordnance is gone. Do not play with it for any reason. I have, and I'm alive today to tell you I had great platoon sergeants. That's why I'm alive today. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.